Today we are going to review the data that has already been entered into your MDinteractive account. We will be looking specifically at the PQRS reports. These reports will allow you to see errors in your data entry and any corrections that need to be made. Begin by choosing your favorite web browser and go to www.mdinteractive.com. Once on our homepage, you can then enter in the username and password for your MDinteractive account. Once you are on your account homepage, you will want to scroll down and review the summary of your PQRS providers. Under the section titled PQRS Providers, you will see a summary of the data that you have already entered for each provider. You will notice in this example that there are several messages in red. These red messages indicate that there are still items that need to be completed and/or edited before you can make final payment and before we would submit your data to CMS. Scrolling over, you will notice under the PQRS payment adjustment that there are reporting errors. In this video, we are going to explore more about the reporting errors. Below the PQRS provider section, you will also see the PQRS report section. In this area, you can specifically click on reports relevant to the data that has been already entered. In this case, Preventative Care Measures Group has been entered for this provider. If you had entered individual measures for this provider, those would be listed here. For the purposes of this example, we are going to work with the Preventative Care Measures Group and click on this report. After opening the report, you will notice first the title, PQRS Report for Preventative Care Measures Group. First, let's go through the sections of this report. On the far left-hand side, you will see a column named Status. Status is where you will find information specific to the errors that exist in your report. As we move along, you'll see that the data entry for this particular provider is ongoing, that the payment, of course, has not yet been made, and that the consent has not been completed or signed. Then you will see the provider's name, individual NPI, and tax ID number listed for the data that is already entered into the system. In this example, you can see that we've entered 2 Medicare patients so far. We have yet to enter any non-Medicare patients. So the total patients entered so far for the Preventative Care Measures Group is 2. As you continue to scroll over, each measure from the measures group is listed. In this case, the first measure listed is measure number 39, screening for osteoporosis for women aged 65 to 85 years old. Underneath that section, you will see both the performance rate and the reporting rate for that particular measure. The benchmark data is not yet available from CMS, but once it is, you will see the benchmark information of where nationally people fall within this area. Once CMS provides us with that data, we will put it into our system so that you can have benchmarking. As you continue to scroll over, you will see each of the measures from the Preventative Care Measures Group. Remember, if you were entering just a single measure, you would only see the report for that one measure. But in the case of the measures group, you will see all of the measures included within that group. Please note that items in red indicate that there is an error. As you can see, measure number 226, tobacco use, screening, and cessation, has a 0 performance rate, which is not acceptable in order to pass PQRS. The reporting rate is also only 50%. Reporting rates must be 100%. So there is work to be done in correcting this measure. But let's scroll back over to the status section so that we can learn more about these errors. Here in the status section, you can see there are a list of errors or ongoing concerns with the data that has been submitted. Notice that next to each error listed, there is a blue dot. Hovering your mouse over that blue dot will provide you with more information in regards to the error. As you can see, the first error listed states that we have less than 20 patients. Please note that when completing a measures group, the minimum requirement is 20 patients, with just over 50%, or 11, being Medicare Part B fee-for-service patients. This error message is in regards to the fact that we've only entered 2 at this point. Once we have successfully entered the right number of Medicare patients and the total of 20 patients, this error will remove itself. The next 2 errors that you see are in regards to the performance rate and the reporting rates. First, the performance rate of 0% is not acceptable in order to pass PQRS. If you were to hover your mouse over the blue dot, you can see that the measure of concern is measure number 226, or the tobacco screening, cessation, and intervention that we noted earlier. A performance rate of 0% is not acceptable to pass. When you look at the reporting rate, we also have less than 100%. The reporting rate simply means that each answer has not been successfully completed for a patient. If you hover your mouse over it, you will see that for measure 226, we are missing an answer for patient Becca Bass. That will need to be entered in order to have a reporting rate of 100% for measure number 226. The last 2 error messages listed are simply in regards to the consent. The consent form currently on file has a different tax ID number, which means that for this particular provider, an individual NPI and tax ID combination, the consent does not exist. In order to remove these errors, you would simply have your provider sign a consent with the correct individual NPI and tax ID combination that matches the data you are entering and the way in which you bill Medicare. This can be done directly online by simply clicking on the Sign button. Under the PQRS Reports section, you will notice that there are several ways in which you can export data. This will allow you to view your data in a different format. Another excellent way to access your patient-specific information is to simply click on the provider's name. When clicking on the provider's name, it will pull up a full list of all of the patients entered. In this case, we will see the 2 Medicare patients that have been entered for this provider. Then you can simply make edits. We also have a video on how to make edits for your patients. Feel free to take a look at that. Once you have reviewed your PQRS report and made your necessary changes, you can simply go back to your home page by selecting Go next to Home. This will take you back to your home page so that you can continue either creating more patient records or searching those records that you may want to edit or change. This concludes our tutorial on how to read PQRS reports. If you have any error messages or concerns that are not clear or you are unable to edit, please feel free to either join us via online chat or by calling our helpline at 1-800-634-4731. Our experienced agents are ready and available to assist you Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you and have a great day.